The Enterprise Unit Get Empowered series kicks off on the 28th of November 2020. The theme for the maiden edition is preparing you for the next opportunities. This would be a free career seminar that highlights the opportunities in today's world of work and empower you to be employable and more competitive in the industry.
Hi, my name is Yemi Faseun. This is to inform you that I'll be live on all RCCG Promised Land social media handles, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube on Saturday, November 28, 2020. We will start at 5 p.m. prompt. I'll be discussing everything you need to increase your value and stay competitive in the marketplace. You're required to register via the link that will come up shortly. I promise it will be a good time. See you there. Thank you very much. Bye.
We will be having Yemi Faseun, a top HR strategist, as our guest, and Titi Taiwo as the moderator for the day. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Don't miss it. The Enterprise Unit Get Empowered series kicks off on the 28th of November 2020. The theme for the maiden edition is preparing you for the next opportunities. This would be a free career seminar that highlights the opportunities in today's world of work and empower you to be employable and more competitive in the industry.
Hi, my name is Yemi. This is to inform you that I'll be live on all RCCG Promised Land social media handles, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube on Saturday, November 28, 2020. We will start at 5 p.m. prompt. I'll be discussing everything you need to increase your value and stay competitive in the marketplace. You're required to register via the link that will come up shortly. I promise it will be a good time. See you there. Thank you very much. Bye.
We will be having Yemi Faseun, a top HR strategist, as our guest, and Titi Taiwo as the moderator for the day. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Don't miss it. The Enterprise Unit Get Empowered series kicks off on the 28th of November 2020. The theme for the maiden edition is preparing you for the next opportunities. This would be a free career seminar that highlights the opportunities in today's world of work and empower you to be employable and more competitive in the industry.
Hi, my name is Yemi. This is to inform you that I'll be live on all RCCG Promised Land social media handles, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. On Saturday, November 28, 2020, we will start at 5 p.m. prompt. I'll be discussing everything you need to increase your value and stay competitive in the marketplace. You're required to register via the link that will come up shortly. I promise it will be a good time. See you there. Thank you very much. Bye.
We will be having Yemi Faseun, a top HR strategist, as our guest, and Titi Taiwo as the moderator for the day. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Don't miss it. The Enterprise Unit Get Empowered series kicks off on the 28th of November 2020. The theme for the maiden edition is preparing you for the next opportunities. This would be a free career seminar that highlights the opportunities in today's world of work and empower you to be employable and more competitive in the industry.
Hi, my name is Yemi. This is to inform you that I'll be live on all RCCG Promised Land social media handles, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. On Saturday, November 28, 2020, we will start at 5 p.m. prompt. I'll be discussing everything you need to increase your value and stay competitive in the marketplace. You're required to register via the link that will come up shortly. I promise it will be a good time. See you there. Thank you very much. Bye.
We will be having Yemi Faseun, a top HR strategist, as our guest, and Titi Taiwo as the moderator for the day. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Don't miss it. The Enterprise Unit Get Empowered series kicks off on the 28th of November 2020. The theme for the maiden edition is preparing you for the next opportunities. This would be a free career seminar that highlights the opportunities in today's world of work and empower you to be employable and more competitive in the industry.
Hi, my name is Yemi. This is to inform you that I'll be live on all RCCG Promised Land social media handles, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. On Saturday, November 28, 2020, we will start at 5 p.m. prompt. I'll be discussing everything you need to increase your value and stay competitive in the marketplace. You're required to register via the link that will come up shortly. I promise it will be a good time. See you there. Thank you very much. Bye.
We will be having Yemi Faseun, a top HR strategist, as our guest, and Titi Taiwo as the moderator for the day. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Don't miss it. The Enterprise Unit Get Empowered series kicks off on the 28th of November 2020. The theme for the maiden edition is preparing you for the next opportunities. This would be a free career seminar that highlights the opportunities in today's world of work and empower you to be employable and more competitive in the industry.
Hi, my name is Yemi. This is to inform you that I'll be live on all RCCG Promised Land social media handles, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. On Saturday, November 28, 2020, we will start at 5 p.m. prompt. I'll be discussing everything you need to increase your value and stay competitive in the marketplace. You're required to register via the link that will come up shortly. I promise it will be a good time. See you there. Thank you very much. Bye.
We will be having Yemi Faseun, a top HR strategist, as our guest, and Titi Taiwo as the moderator for the day. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Don't miss it. Enterprise Unit Get Empowered series kicks off on the 28th of November 2020. The theme for the maiden edition is preparing you for the next opportunities. This would be a free career seminar that highlights the opportunities in today's world of work and empower you to be employable and more competitive in the industry.
Hi, my name is Yemi Faseun. This is to inform you that I'll be live on all RCCG Promised Land social media handles, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube on Saturday, November 28, 2020. We will start at 5 p.m. prompt. I'll be discussing everything you need to increase your value and stay competitive in the marketplace. You're required to register via the link that will come up shortly. I promise it will be a good time. See you there. Thank you very much. Bye.
We will be having Yemi Faseun, a top HR strategist, as our guest, and Titi Taiwo as the moderator for the day. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Don't miss it. The Enterprise Unit Get Empowered series kicks off on the 28th of November 2020. The theme for the maiden edition is preparing you for the next opportunities. This would be a free career seminar that highlights the opportunities in today's world of work and empower you to be employable and more competitive in the industry.
Hi, my name is Yemi Faseun. This is to inform you that I'll be live on all RCCG Promised Land social media handles, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube on Saturday, November 28, 2020. We will start at 5 p.m. prompt. I'll be discussing everything you need to increase your value and stay competitive in the marketplace. You're required to register via the link that will come up shortly. I promise it will be a good time. See you there. Thank you very much. Bye.
We will be having Yemi Faseun, a top HR strategist, as our guest, and Titi Taiwo as the moderator for the day. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Don't miss it. The Enterprise Unit Get Empowered series kicks off on the 28th of November 2020. The theme for the maiden edition is preparing you for the next opportunities. This would be a free career seminar that highlights the opportunities in today's world of work and empower you to be employable and more competitive in the industry.
Hi, my name is Yemi Faseun. This is to inform you that I'll be live on all RCCG Promised Land social media handles, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube on Saturday, November 28, 2020. We will start at 5 p.m. prompt. I'll be discussing everything you need to increase your value and stay competitive in the marketplace. You're required to register via the link that will come up shortly. I promise it will be a good time. See you there. Thank you very much. Bye.
We will be having Yemi Faseun, a top HR strategist, as our guest, and Titi Taiwo as the moderator for the day. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Don't miss it. The Enterprise Unit Get Empowered series kicks off on the 28th of November 2020. The theme for the maiden edition is preparing you for the next opportunities. This would be a free career seminar that highlights the opportunities in today's world of work and empower you to be employable and more competitive in the industry.
Hi, my name is Yemi Faseun. This is to inform you that I'll be live on all RCCG Promised Land social media handles, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube on Saturday, November 28, 2020. We will start at 5 p.m. prompt. I'll be discussing everything you need to increase
all over the world from all our social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. You're welcome to Get Empowered series. Thank you. We want you to put in your comments where you are joining us from. We know people register from UK, from South Africa. It's an Good evening here in Lagos. Very bright evening indeed. Let's get started. With me on the stage is Hayo, and indeed, the year 2020 has been a very challenging year.
Yes.
The world faces the most disruptive period of employment in our lifetime. COVID-19 has affected workforce throughout the world, irrespective of your industry, location, or sizes. How well are we going to navigate this normal? Businesses are adapting very quickly, and for us as career people, we really need to adapt for us to survive. So here with us today, we are privileged to have the gatekeepers of human resources in our midst to actually shed more light on how to adapt in this new normal. Before joining us, we'll be reading a brief biography of our guest. I'm sure some of you joining us online know him already. So today, we are privileged to have the foremost HR strategist as our guest. Is the head of human resources of Globalcom, a multinational corporation and a Nigeria telecommunication brand. In this role, he provides leadership for best-in-class people management solutions and practices aimed at driving outstanding employee experience and support the achievement of strategic business objectives. Yemi is a transformational leader with expertise in human resource management and over 20 years industry experience that span across banking, telecommunications. In addition to his current role in Globalcom Nigeria, Yemi also is an elected council member of Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, is recognized as top 501 most fabulous global HR leader, top 150 global HR influencer, is passionate about leadership, youth development, and social intervention. Yemi is one of the HR gurus that add the human part to human resources. I'm sure most of us don't like the HR people, but he's one of the personnel in the industry that is changing the status quo. Before we have him join us on stage, we have Ayo. He will be shedding more light about what Get Empowered series is all about and some of the things we are here to learn today. Thank you once again for joining us.
Thank you very much, Titi. I just can't but, try to put my hands together as you read out the profile of Yemi Faseun. It's exciting that we're having Yemi as the first person, right, to grace Get Empowered series. Like Titi said, it's been a challenging year, and organizations are adjusting. Now, as individuals, we ought to also adjust very fast. And that is what gave birth to Get Empowered series. We saw that there was a vacuum. We needed to bring people up to speed. We understood that, the old rules will no longer apply. We understood that old tricks will no longer work, right? But we see that people are still using these old rules and old tricks and hoping that it will work. And it's not. And they're asking, where do we go from here? What do we do? What do we know? And that is what gave birth to, the Get Empowered series. So Get Empowered series is indeed an inspiration of RCCG, Promised Land Parish, working together with the Inspire team as well. We hope to use this media to empower individuals, and not only individuals, empower businesses in making the best out of the new normal. So thank you very much, Titi.
Thank you so much, Ayo. Then My next question would be, what informed the topic, preparing you for the next opportunity?
Yes, so for the
why that topic, please?
So for the next opportunity, we believe that, like someone said, there are always opportunities.
That's true.
There are always opportunities. And we see, like I said, things are changing. And opportunities that have been missed, once you miss an opportunity, it is never going to come back again. So we find it necessary to prepare people for this next opportunity. Now, whether we like it or not, these opportunities come hard to even get by at all.
Yes.
I speak with people that, I ask them, when last did they attend an interview? They can't even remember when last they had one interview. So the next job opportunity is that interview, is that engagement you have with someone that can put your foot into the door. That's the next opportunity. So we want to ensure that people do not waste their next opportunity. And that is what today's topic will seek to address.
Thank you so much, Ayo. Again, in COVID-19 context, we can say that workforce has been divided into three parts.
Okay.
The essential workers, the vis-a-vis, the dispatch rider, the health workers, then the remote worker, people that can actually work remotely, they don't need to come to the office. Then the displaced workers. I would say industry that has been affected most, tourism, entertainment. What is the hope of those people in the category of displaced worker?
So, I wouldn't want to, go with that thread of workers, right? I want to say that what is very, very important in today's marketplace is, what do you have?
That's true.
It's just as simple as that. What do you have? I see a lot of people reach out to me, I'm looking for a job, and I ask a simple question, what can you do? Oftentimes it takes them like 2 days to get back to me, Titi. It takes them like 2 days. What can you do? You hear people say, I'm innovative. Okay. You are innovative. What can you do? Are you coming to innovate my clothes? You have to innovate something.
That's true.
Right? You have to innovate something. Oh, I solve problems. What problems have you solved?
Yeah.
Tell me the problems you have solved. And I can say, fine, go and solve these problems in this particular place. So I think regardless of whether you are a remote worker or a displaced worker, or you are still going to the four walls of the office, I think what is important to you, whether you are jobful now or you are jobless, is what skills do you possess? Because those skills will decide whether you maintain the job that you have, right, or you lose it, or for those that are jobless, you get a new job, or you remain indeed, jobless. You've got to go review your skills profile. You have to go and review your skills profile. One thing I tell people when they are putting together their resumes is, one of the first things I love to see in a resume is your skills profile. What can you do? Because that's the only reason that a job exists for.
Yeah.
What can you do? So I see a lot of people, the first thing they see is what they call a personality profile, name, local government, give me the rest now, age, marital status, biography, biodata.
Yeah.
What do I want to use your biodata to do? Your biodata does not add any value to my business.
Very true.
So I see a lot of young school leavers, I see their resumes, and I cannot understand what value they can bring. So it's really not, it's not about, number of years you have worked, or you are jobful, or you are jobless. No. Tell me, what can you do for me? Very simple terms.
Wow, thank you so much, Ayo. Ayo is actually giving us CV tips, which is very, very cool. Then that leads to another question for you, Ayo. What are the skills of the future? We've been hearing about future of work. You talked about skills too. What solution can you bring to the table? So now, digital age, COVID happened. What are the skills of the future? What skills do you think is very, very relevant in our present age? Thank you.
Okay, fantastic question. You know, interestingly, if you go to, in the year 2000, we're talking about skills of the future.
Yeah.
Right? And this is 2020. Right? So my point is, whether you like it or not, there's a continuous evolution in terms of the kind of skills that is required to succeed. Even as an HR professional, a lot of people have wondered as we go into the artificial intelligence age, that do you need human professionals or you need machine professionals? Do you need human resources professionals or machine resources professionals? People that can, you know, help machines to succeed instead of humans. So even, you know, my career is at risk. So I need to learn new skills, right? So I think what is important, regardless of COVID, I think a lot of sentiment and emotion have been put around COVID. I believe that COVID has only been an eye-opener. There's always been an evolution. There's a time when, you know, it was the technology age, right? Now, clearly, it's purely information. You know, there was a time when, you know, we had, it was all about the number of farms, you know, how big your farmlands are. Right now, it's about, you know, the strength, how potent the information, right, that you have, you know, is. So a lot about it, you sit down, right, analyze your profession.
Okay.
There's something I challenge people to do. It's called a SWOT analysis. Carry out a personal SWOT. What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What are the opportunities within my field? What are the threats against this field? No one will tell you the kind of skills you need to go and take up. Nobody. But you have to align your strengths, align your own context, right, to your success. You have to align your own context to your advantage. Right? I usually use this, you know, analogy. Do you know there's a fish that can't climb a tree?
No. I've not heard about
You've not heard about that. There's a fish that can climb a tree.
Yeah.
I don't know. Audience, please just go to Google and Google out a fish that climbs a tree. And you know why I like this analogy? Monkey can climb a tree.
Yeah.
And there's a fish that climbs trees. You are still shocked.
Yes.
Now, if you put the monkey and the fish together and say, okay, let's have a tree climbing competition. Who will win that competition?
Monkey, of course.
A monkey, of course. Yeah. But will the fish try?
No.
He will try now. Ow. The fish will try. Okay. But my point is, some of us, because, you know, we're told that, you know, what is reigning, the skill that is reigning is climbing of trees. We do not understand our own personal context. We've not aligned our own strengths, our weaknesses, our opportunities towards climbing a tree, and we are all just trying to climb trees.
Wow.
And there are people that are monkeys in that particular biome that will always beat everybody to climbing trees. So my point is, I strongly believe that God has made us uniquely for different kind of things. You've got to find yourself out. You've got to find your own inherent capabilities that can make you succeed in the marketplace. So it's not about, again, to answer your question, it's not about what skills, it's about me. And then refining, aligning me, right, to the new marketplace.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ayo. It's not about what is new in town. It's about what God has deposited in you, and you need to showcase them by finding time, spending time with yourself, doing SWOT analysis, as he has said, and bringing out your own ability in your own unique way. As an HR person, Ayo, what qualifications do you seek in new hire?
Okay. Number one, what can you do? You know, that's number one. You know, what can you do, right? Okay. So generally, I will speak to what we call employability skills. Now, employability skills has been here for ages. 20 years ago, you see countries like UK, Australia, the US, they carried out different kind of researches around, you know, what are the key employability skills. And the good thing about these employability skills is that they determine your success in the workplace, regardless of wherever you find yourself. Right? What are these skills? Number one is communication. You are coming to an interview, you can't communicate. I'm sure you know the outcome of that interview already. Right? You've got to be able to communicate properly. Right? So I think that's number one employability skill. You are even if you are in a business and you can't communicate, what you are doing, we will buy it. So we have communication, right? We have teamwork. We must be able to see that you can work in a team. Because you won't do the work alone.
That's true.
You're coming to work with me, you're coming to work with people, right? So we must see that you can indeed work with people to generate results. You know, I've asked people questions as simple as so what's that thing, that you don't like about yourself? And saying, I find it difficult to work with people. Oh, really? And you want to come and work here? Sorry. You get it's as simple as that. So number two is teamwork, right? It's a digital age, so your technology skills are very, very important. Your technology skills are very, very important. I would like to introduce the Microsoft, digital skills. You can Google it, Microsoft digital skills. It teaches you about computer right from how to hold a mouse. Right from how to hold a mouse. So you've got to learn that already as well. So I feel that these are few of the skills that you need to take up in order to, get hired anywhere, really.
Thank you so much, Hayo. Very, very insightful time with you this evening. And I will buttress what you said. I remember my last employer told me that the reason why we hire you is because of the way you communicate. It's not about your achievements or what you have on your CV. So it's very, very important.
Yes.
When we are going for interview, we must put it at the back of our mind. We must be able to communicate well so that we can have better advantage. So thank you so much, Hayo. And at this junction, we will be inviting our guests to join us on stage to give us the opening speech about today's topic. Thank you so much, Mr. Yemi.
The Enterprise Unit Get Empowered series kicks off on the 28th of November 2020. The theme for the maiden edition is preparing you for the next opportunities. This would be a free career seminar that highlights the opportunities in today's world of work and empower you to be employable and more competitive in the industry.
Hi, my name is Yemi Faseun. This is to inform you that I'll be live on all RCCG Promised Land social media handles, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. On Saturday, November 28, 2020, we will start at 5 p.m. prompt. I'll be discussing everything you need to increase your value and stay competitive in the marketplace. You're required to register via the...
With regards to getting ready for the next job, I think the news is that we're now in a new world. It's no more business as usual. This is what I call BU rather than BAU. This is business unusual, and that's because the pandemic was a catalyst for the future of work that we were talking about 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Most of the conversations and conferences we had in 2018, 2019 were centered around the future of work, and we're all getting ready. But we thought it was going to come in 2023 or 2025, but then the pandemic happened in one quiet part of the world that nobody really knew at that time, far away Asia, and gradually it traveled to virtually everywhere in the world, and things have not been the same again. I mean, at some point the whole world was literally on lockdown, and the changes that have happened were around fear, uncertainty, and as we were in a lockdown mode, we were learning more and more about the virus, and that allowed us to get out of the fear mode in a way. Okay, it's bad, but it's not that bad. And we also realized that it was going to be with us for a very long time.
Yes.
And so we didn't have a choice but to start learning new ways of dealing with this new virus.
Yeah.
So we moved from that point of ignorance about the virus that led to fear and uncertainty. We moved to a point where we were learning more and more about it. Knowledge gave us power to say that, okay, we can still survive side by side the virus.
Yeah.
So we were gradually getting out of the fear mode into we've got to survive. But now the news is we are moving into, or we have moved into another phase, which I call the thriving mode. We do not have a choice but to thrive. The virus is not going to go away. That's the news. We know that. There is work in progress on the vaccines. When is it going to come? How effective is it going to be? We don't know, but we've got to survive.
Yes.
So it's a new world. For guys in business or career or any enterprise at all, it's a new world. What we need to do now is to put the past behind us, take the lessons with us, and use that as opportunities to look for fresh challenges that will make us thrive. We are likely not going to go back to the old normal, old ways of doing things. It's not likely. Because of technology also, the rate of change that has happened in the last maybe 2-3 years has been phenomenal, right? But what we've been told, or what we know, is that the rate of change that is happening to us right now is going to be the slowest in terms of what mankind will witness. So, yeah, people need to get ready for a real new world entirely. And what does that mean? Therefore, from a career perspective especially, what it means is that what got us here will not get us further. What it means is that we got more and more people with the same level of skill, with the same level of knowledge and experience in thousands and millions. If you consider the world as a global village, that the little extras that we must therefore do to stand out from the crowd and move ahead, get ahead, be successful, thrive in whatever we do, be the reference point in whatever we want to do. So this is not a time for comfort zone. This is not a time to moan and groan and whine on one spot, what has happened, the pandemic, my job, my career. No, this is not the time. It's a new world. So it's a time for us to reinvent ourselves. I started this year by posting something on my social media handles. Instagram, I said reset. This was January 1 of this year. I honestly, I do not know exactly how that word came about. January of this year, and I put it there, reset. And when I look back, that's exactly what has happened to virtually the entire universe.
Yeah.
It's been a year of resetting. So, as individuals as well, what we need to do is, given all that has happened, we need to reinvent ourselves for a world that has reset itself. Because we cannot take our old selves into a new world.
Yeah.
It won't happen. There is going to be a kind of a friction, because the new world is demanding different sets of skills, different sets of behavior from us for us to get ahead or advance in our career or in whatever we do. So this is the time to reinvent. And reinvention for me is also to say that we need to be fully in love with self-development. Not the time to expect organizations to send us on every training. We want to go to London, we want to go to LBS, just next door, we want to go. That's not the time. It's not going to happen. The resources of the world, also the resources of countries, of organizations, have been impacted negatively, largely. Largely. Some organizations made money. Let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah.
Zoom made money. Zoom has made money. Netflix is making money. The telcos seem to be making money.
Telcos are making money.
I'm deliberately using that word. The telcos seem to be making money as well, but largely the resources of the entire world have been impacted negatively. So we won't expect the organization to do everything for us. And because of what technology, because of the technology leverage that's available, there's so many things we can do to reinvent ourselves and develop ourselves on our own, and those things are not costing an arm and a leg. The question is, what are we focusing on in terms of developing ourselves? If you're not in love with self-development, you are fully cheating on yourself. So this is the time for reinvention. This is the time for career development. This is the time to understand that the new skills of the new world is what will take us to the next level. The kind of interviews we did last year, 2 years ago, will definitely not be the same sort of interviews we will be doing going forward. Even right now, I mean, if you see any candidate that is still struggling with how to use Zoom for interviews or Google Meet or any of the technology tools, then there is a problem somewhere. Do not wait until they teach you, okay, unmute yourself. Can we see you? Put on your video. It still happened as of yesterday during an interview that we had in the office. So all of that must change, but the space of the individual in taking ownership and responsibility to upskill and retool for the new world cannot be overemphasized. It is a primary responsibility of the individual. I mean, there are thousands of unemployed graduates, or maybe in millions, but it's not an excuse. You'll be surprised that some individuals, even during the pandemic, were still moving ahead. They were getting promoted. They were getting new jobs.
Yes.
They were getting new business deals. You know, so it's a word of no excuse. Do whatever you need to do to get yourself ready for the opportunities. Out of every challenge, opportunities always emerge. And out of challenges, we also always have champions. So be a champion unto yourself by understanding this is where I should be, this is where I am right now, therefore there's a gap. Mind that gap by developing yourself and getting ready for the new world. So reinvention, responsibility, and also taking action. You've got to take action. What do you spend time doing? Netflix is there. Social media is there. Spend time on Facebook, spend time on Instagram, and all that. But the point is, you can also leverage on those platforms to still develop yourself. So the question is, what are you doing when you're online for 5 hours in a day or 6 hours? There's so many free programs that you can do to develop yourself. So the new world is a place of value. The marketplace ultimately pays for value. So if you're not adding value to the ecosystem, you shouldn't be asking for value. And if you're not adding value, really, you're not adding anything. And the only way to do that is to constantly ask yourself at the end of the day, what have I added to myself today? The place of value is a place of introspection, right? What have I done? What else can I do? Where are the gaps? How do I mind the gaps? It's a place of action. It's a place of focus, like I said. It's a place of self-development. The next level, the next job, the next promotion, the next idea is a place of constant introspection, constant action, and constant reinventing ourselves. Otherwise, the world will move so fast ahead of us, and we're going to be wondering, hey, what happened? And that's not where we want to be. So we need to quickly understand that the rate of change has happened to economies or countries, it's happened to companies, and it's happening as well to individuals. So the individuals must situate themselves within that context of change and rapid change, and also rapidly develop themselves so that the world doesn't leave us behind. That will be my introductory speech. I don't know if you have questions for me.
Thank you so much. A round of applause for him in the comment section. Let's give Mr. Yemi a round of applause. Fantastic, fantastic.
You call me Yemi, it's fine though.
Okay, no problem, no problem. Fantastic. He talked about being responsible. He talks about reinvention and taking action. We are all on this call today. It's an act of responsibility, but it goes further. We need to take action. It's not about hearing and hearing alone. We need to be the doer. Thank you so much. Wonderful, 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 and so insightful. So we are going into the question and answer session, and we will be crowdsourcing this session using our social media platform. Kindly drop any question that you have for Yemi on our social media platform, we're going to pick it up and we're going to answer it on this stage. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, we have a lot of questions for you. And people are so excited that you are coming here today. Talking about people that changed job during the pandemic, I followed you on LinkedIn. You changed job as well. So, what is the secret? What has been that one thing for you that has set you apart from your other contemporaries? And like I said before you joined, that you are one person that has added the human part to the human resources. People don't like the HR people, they give you query, they do this. Following you over the years, I've seen a lot of your content on social media, impacting in the youth and telling them what it should be. So thank you so much for all those efforts to make this world a better place.
Thank you.
We are seeing you and we appreciate you. Thank you so much. For you, you changed job during the pandemic. What's the secret? We want to know.
What's the secret? I think it's a journey.
Okay.
Now, all the things that I'm saying right now, they're not things that I have said because I've read them in textbooks. And that's one of the reasons why if you follow my conversations in the last 3 to 4 years, you'll hardly find me using slides.
Yes.
I love to speak to reality, to real life experience and all that. So what is it for me? And let me say that I'm not successful yet. I always need to let people know that I am still on a journey as well. But the journey started for me a while ago, and I think that's the reason I might be holding the microphone to share with other people. Not because I am at the bus stop of success yet. I'm still on the journey. But what has worked for me? Very early in my career, the search for knowledge was big for me. When I tell people that I do not have any sort of certification in human resources, people tend to say, Yemi, are you joking? Are you serious? But really, I don't. But it's not because I am blessed in a very special way with something about human resources. No, it's because I was after knowledge and not after certifications. If certification will lead you to getting knowledge that you need to thrive, by all means, go for it. If it's another degree, a master's degree, another master's degree that will help you to thrive, by all means, go for it. But in that process, what you are looking for is not the paper qualification. It's not the certificate itself that is awarded. What you're looking for is knowledge and opportunities to apply that knowledge. This is my 4th engagement today. Wow. My 4th Zoom session today. Earlier on, I was speaking at the program by the Elevation Church, another one, the Christian Nation, a church in Kenya, just before I left home. And one of the themes that is reoccurring is that this year we've done a lot of learning. 2021 is a time for doing. We find so many people who have learned. They're on every Zoom call, they're on every webinar, and that's great. But we are finding gaps between what people say they know and what they can do on the job. So what we need to do is to move knowledge acquired over a period of time into a space of application. It is the daily interactions that I have with, for instance, the businesses that I support as an HR person that will make them say, okay, yeah, we believe in the quality of advisory. What you said yesterday worked or it happened. What are we going to do today? Let's listen to you. But if all I say, nothing works, right? Nobody is going to believe that I am a great business partner to the business. So there is a place for knowledge, there is a place for learning, there is a place for knowledge, and there's an ultimate place for the application of knowledge. I've always found opportunities. The foundation is always grace. We are within a Christian spiritual environment. The foundation for me has always been grace, but we need to build on that, given the things that we do personally. So I was very hungry for knowledge. I read more books after I left the university than when I was in school. Sincerely. Yeah. And they were not just books about human resources, they were books about life. They were inspirational books from Brian Tracy, from Zig Ziglar, Stephen Covey. And when I started the leadership journey, John Maxwell came very handy as well. So if you ask me, Yemi, who's your mentor today? I probably won't be able to give you an answer. But I found mentors in the books that I read. And I wasn't reading for the sake of just putting them on the shelf. I was reading because I was actually thirsty for knowledge. And like I said, always looking for opportunities to apply that knowledge. And it's not just a technical aspect of things. So over the years, you need a technical base to be able to do your job, your skills, your qualification, and your experience as you continue to grow. But after a while, especially because you are gradually moving into leadership positions, IQ will not be enough. Your technical abilities will not be enough. How do you relate with people? How do you manage people? What's your emotional outburst generally like? If you are in the room, how will they describe you? What's your relationship with people like? And in the new world, those behavioral elements are becoming more and more important. Because like I said earlier, many people can do the same thing that I'm doing. Yeah. So what is it about you that will set you apart? I think I found quickly that one for me was communication, and the second was networking. If I say to people now that I'm antisocial, nobody believes me. But really, apart from events like this, you probably won't find me out over a weekend period. But I have my ways of keeping my network intact. I mean, 2 people, maybe not 2, let me say that out of the 11 jobs that I've done, I applied for only the first 2. The remaining 9 have been through referrals. I mean, the last job before I joined Glow, it was Ayo who called me and said, Yemi, we are looking for head of HR. Are you interested? I mean, I'm dropping names because I want people to verify so that they don't think that I'm just speaking of the waves. That's the reality. And when did I meet him? We met at Stanbic. I left Stanbic in 2010. We kept the relationship going. And then in 2016, he called me for a job. I was going to transit into some sort of HRpreneur at the beginning of this year, and I was already putting structures in place for all that. And then sometime in February, March, I got messages from the organization I work with right now via LinkedIn. So that means, again, content, authenticity, credibility over a period of time. Yeah. They will all come into play to determine the opportunities that will exist for individuals. So mind those different areas. The technical side of things, very good. Acquire knowledge, acquire skills, and the experience. But over and above that, your emotional intelligence. How do you deal with a team you work with in your organization? How do you deal with teams outside your own department? And how do you deal with people generally? Because you just do not know where the next referral will come from. So it's a combination of minding the things that I needed to survive and thrive in the workplace, in addition to the behavioral, the leadership, the network or relationship competencies. I'm not sure you probably have come across my formula. I said it's IQ plus EQ plus PQ, which is political quotient, because you've got to be politically intelligent to survive in any setting, in any environment. Wow. And the last one I added to it is RQ, which is relationship quotient. You've got to be intelligent in terms of how you develop value-adding relationship over a period of time, and those things pay dividends. Definitely, they pay dividends.
Thank you so much. Thank you
so
so
nothing
much.
Special about me, really, which is really what I'm trying to say.
Thank you for letting out your secrets. Now we know, and we are taking note. That leads me to the next question about brand building and opportunity. You've talked about it. A lot of us are on social media, and we are not taking full advantages. And according to a LinkedIn report, like you said, 47% of CISOs, because of your content, can reach out to you to exchange personal contact. What is your advice to people youth nowadays, we spend time on social media. We are not using it as a tool to navigate this present time or leveraging on those opportunities for the next level.
Okay, so this is the point where I might direct people to find a guy called Timon Tete, Timon, and then Tete. He came from Netherlands last year, about this time last year, to have an interview with me, and we're talking about this same issue. Now, I'll try and recap the things that I said in about, I think we had that interview for about 30 minutes. I'll try and recap. But if anybody can find Timon Tete on LinkedIn, look at his post. I think he posted it somewhere. Now, this is what I said. I have not deliberately built a social media profile. I promise you. And I'm not lying. I have not. As at the beginning of this year, you may not believe it, but I had just about 20,000 followers on LinkedIn. As at today, it's about 78,000.
Wow.
Honestly, how that happened, I do not know. I don't have an idea. But what I said then was that, see, the only way to give yourself visibility, this is from my perspective and given my experience, is to be sure that you are content driven. People will want to read you and follow you if what they read about you last week made sense to them. And then another week they read something, it made sense to them. You are gradually building credibility. Nobody becomes authentic without first being credible. It's not going to happen. You are likely to see a flash in the pan if you think, oh, all of a sudden I have 120 followers. But if there is no content behind it, it's not sustainable. So the only way I think I have been able to build some level of brand presence on social media is through the content that I have put out over a period of time. Last year, I was involved in about 45 conferences, speaking engagements, about 45. So this year, I said, for the first quarter of this, I'm just going to go take a break. But by January, I had done 3. And deliberately, I decided not to count this year. I think I have done more, despite the fact that we had virtual situations this year. I think I've done more this year than last year. So there must be something about the content that one gives out from time to time that allows other people to either want to listen to you, or those who have listened to you, they want to listen to you again. So if you develop the real stuff, that's knowledge, and you build that credibility over a period of time, you will not need to be chasing clouds. I was trying to be careful with that word because it's offensive to some people, but that's the truth, right? What do you have to give out, and to give out consistently is what makes you authentic. And I think on my WhatsApp status about 4 or 5 days ago, I was making an allusion to sinking a borehole or digging a well. If you come across the first sign of water and you stop digging, you haven't started.
Yes.
Before you know it, 2 or 3 buckets of water, and that's it. But if you want more water to consistently flow out of that borehole or well, what do you need to do?
Further.
You've got to dig deeper. So I say that you've got to dig deep, right? Make sure you have very firm roots so that when you begin to grow leaves, right, then things will blossom. And it will be sustainable over a period of time. So for me, it is content. I've been working since 1991. I left IFA in 1990, right? Working since 1991, part-time lecturing, did an MBA, started real corporate work 1996. How many years now? Between 1996 and now, that's about 24, 25 years. And I started speaking anywhere about 3, 4 years ago.
Really?
Yep. So I was in very quiet, unknown places trying to make sure that I dig deep. And when it is time, nobody can hold back because the roots they'll be studied. against anything.
And
And you will consistently be able to give back to the ecosystem. So that's it. It's content. And it's because of the availability of social media, we all want to blow. To use a very popular parlance, we all want to blow. We all want to be visible. Let your visibility be founded on credibility. If you're not credible enough, please do not hog the limelight yet. If you do not have a credible platform to stand on and you attempt to hog the limelight, there might be a mishap. You just come, show up for a few days, weeks, months, and then you fizzle out. Because you know the world today is in a hurry. We are looking for the next big thing.
Yes.
You see what I mean? So if you want to be sustainable, if you want to be a Sunny Ade, for instance, in Fuji music, is it Fuji or what does this thing? I don't know. See, I'm so antisocial. If you want to be a Sunny Ade, he's been consistent. He's over 70 now, but look at him. He's been consistent over the years.
Yeah.
We need to sit and learn from such individuals. Hone your skills. Be credible in terms of knowledge acquisition, right? Like I said, build a great network as well and watch how you come across to people. And over a period of time, gradually, you become authentic. So for 19 years, I didn't say anything anywhere. Sales, marketing, then HR, all of 19 years, I didn't say a word anywhere. What I was doing was to try and just build myself in readiness for the future.
Wow, fantastic, fantastic. Thank you so much for telling us it is important if you want to build brand credibility online. Content is important, consistency is important, and credibility is important. Thank you so much, thank you so much. We have questions coming in online, and I'll be taking the very first one. This person is asking, I think Nkechi from Facebook, how do we approach the interview question? Introduce yourself.
Okay, so introduce yourself. So many people have different expectations around that question. I have worked in organizations where we do not want to listen to anything that's on your CV. What is it about you that we should know in addition to what you've already told us, written down or documented on your CV? So it's time for you, that is your 2-3 minutes of fame. Own it. And just say things that will relate your personality or yourself to the job that you're looking for. Make sure that there is a serious connection, like almost immediately. And this is what I say, those 2-3 minutes, that is when most of us get the job or lose the job. Because number one, we are looking for your communication skills, how engaging you can be. We are looking for how focused, how well you can express your experience, and if you have none, how well you can express your personality to your audience. If you lose the audience at that point, it's a struggle to bring them back on track. And I've also worked in organizations where when they say tell us about yourself, they want everything on your CV. That's the reality. So that's part of the things that I say, that you need to do a bit of research and understand the environment where you want to go interview or where you want to go work. Do a bit of research. What would make sense to them? Speak to people if you can. Whatever you can get online, try and get it. But the point is, from my perspective, it's just a time for you to sell yourself to your audience. You've got 2-3 minutes to not talk about your family background, to not talk about primary school and secondary school. Just go straight to the point. Unless you are interjected and your audience says, no, we want to hear about. Otherwise, please tell us about your attributes. Tell us about the things that will be interesting for us to continue the conversation. And that's what I say. Do not see the interview as an interview. That itself gives people some sort of high blood pressure. See it as a conversation. So start that conversation on a very good note about who you are, what you have done. Please give us additional things that are not on your CV that we can relate to your personality.
Wow. Thank you so much for shedding more light. It's important for you to do your research about that organization and for you to be ready to communicate in a manner that will take the conversation forward. So, we have another one that talks about handling red flags on your CVs. Red flags like employment gap, HR love to dig deep. Why is it that you are out of job for so years? So how do I handle that? Nobody, when you applied for a job, you are aware of those red flags. They will raise it eventually, and they will definitely dig deeper into it. So for somebody with certain red flags on their CV, this person is asking, how do I handle it?
I actually do not see gaps in your employment history as a red flag, personally. I don't think so. I think it's how you tell your story that's more important.
Storytelling.
It's a storytelling situation, right? So if you left an organization, I have a friend right now, she has lost sleep for a couple of days, wants to go to Canada, and of course there will be a recourse to the last place where she worked, and she was dismissed. So she's been asking the question, should I take that out of my CV? Because they're going to try and get reference from the last organization. So how do I handle that? But like I said to her, it's how you tell the story. Okay, what can you do? Can you go back to the organization and say, for instance, please, can we change this to a resignation? That's an option.
Yeah.
Go and see if you can do that. At times, I also found that we think about things a lot, but we don't act a lot. Find somebody who knows somebody, or go back to the same organization where you have worked. You want to see the head of HR. I said, this is my situation. Be open. Be honest about it. It's going to be a showstopper for my next level in my endeavor or in my career. Can I change that dismissal to a resignation? And for individuals who have time lags in their employment history, honestly, it's not a red flag. Two things. How do you tell that story? What led you to resigning or leaving an organization? And more importantly, when you left that organization till now, what have you been doing? So you have been attending programs and trainings in readiness for the next level. You have been volunteering in some organizations. Nobody pays you for it, but because you want to acquire more knowledge and skills, you go there 3 days a week to learn new things. You have been working with a friend who runs a project management business, and you are learning PMP. You are with an HR consulting practice, and you are interning in the interim until you get some other job. So it is not a time to start thinking of the negatives around the employment history or the gaps. It's a time to think about the stories to tell, positive stories. Even if you did not like your boss when you left the last organization and you had to leave in a hurry, do not come to the panel and say, oh, my boss, and just whine about the boss. No, always learn to tell positive stories around your career, whatever it is. Sit and try and write. You can write it. Make it your story. Own it. And the way you're nodding now, as I'm talking to you, is the same way members of the panel will be nodding when you are saying it, with conviction, engaging, and you're telling them your story. Everybody has a story. Everybody. I've lost jobs twice in my career. As in, I was told to leave organizations twice in my career. And it hasn't stopped anything. It is how you tell the story at the next opportunity that will be more important.
Wow. Thank you so much. That is very, very insightful. So own your story, tell your story.
Right.
Nothing can stop you if you can tell your story.
Can I say something? I'm so sorry to cut you. There's another thing. Given the way the question came, we seem to be defeated even before the battle starts. A lot of the battles of life that we need to win, they start first and foremost from the mind. You're already thinking, they're going to see this gap. What are they going to say? Right? You're going to say, I don't know anyone in that organization. Who's going to give me a chance? Most of the time, we are already defeated from within before we start the battle from without. Keep things positive. Own your story and tell your story.
Wow, thank you so much. Another addition, battles start from your mind. When we win from our mind. So it's important that we are conscious of what our thoughts are. Thank you so much, sir. Then again, another question. A lot of job seekers felt applying to job online is an exercise in futility. How do I maximize my chances? They believe maybe there's already somebody that is within the organization that is being tipped for that job, and 70% of organizations put their adverts online. So, like you said, a thing of the mind, they will not even bother to apply because in their mind, there's always a candidate. So, this person is asking, how do I maximize my chances?
Okay.
So, and again, is it really, really true that jobs online, applying for jobs online is actually exercise in futility? What's your thought?
Okay, so two things that I will say about that. The first thing is there should be a multiplicity of approach to job search. Do not limit it only to applying for jobs online.
Fine. Fantastic.
Right? So that is just one option.
Yeah.
That is just an available option. Do not wait until you see something on LinkedIn, for instance, before you think, okay, I will apply. You could go to the website of particular organizations. Some don't get to LinkedIn, but on their own career portal, job vacancies are always posted. So that's the first thing. Do not limit your search for job opportunities to only online sources. They work. People do not think they work, but believe me, they work. That's one. Then two is referrals work faster than trying to get jobs online. I am in about maybe 7 or 8 WhatsApp groups, HR, WhatsApp groups, and of course other groups, schools, old schools, places where I had worked and all that. And I promise you, people are always posting vacancies on those platforms. So how wide is your network? Remember the network thing that we talked about?
Yes.
So don't just sit and think that it's going to be a piece of cake. A friend of mine, Arosa, wrote a book, Getting a Job is a Job. It is indeed a job. A lot is required for us to do. I mean, some people might say, oh, Yemi, it's easy for you to say you moved from FBN Quest to Globalcom during a pandemic and all that. Believe me, when I left Ife, I went, like I said, I went to do an MBA. With a 2-1 and an MBA, I was walking around the streets of Lagos trying to get a job in 1995 to 1996. Those were the years where we didn't have GSM. The new generation is extremely lucky. Yeah. We were working from one organization to another, dropping hard copy CVs at reception. And because of the class of degree that I made, it was easy for me to do tests in those years because it was an advantage. I did all the tests of all the banks, but nothing happened. I remember that a particular bank, I made it to the level of the MD, and I'm still waiting for a feedback till today. It didn't happen. But I have gone ahead to do some other things. So the frustrations have always been there. No one should say, oh, Yemi, it was easy in your days. Actually, it's easier now because you do not have to leave the comfort of your room or your house before you look out for opportunities. But network is also important. What are you doing with your time when you have some free time? What if we count 2, 3, 4 people within your circle of influence? Who are they? What value are they adding to you? Are they introducing you to opportunities, or are we always only talking about the new style or soccer? Thank you. You know, so a lot depends on who you are. You've got to do a lot more than just sitting and flipping through mobile devices. They work. Now, in terms of opportunities, most organizations, okay, let me use my own example. Some organizations will say that we want to compare the value of the talent we have internally with what's available outside. And that's valid because it's a way of refreshing the organization with new ideas coming from outside. Yes, we want to develop our own people. Yes, we want our talents internally to move into higher positions and grow. At the same time, it is not every time that it is given that a position is for an internal candidate. One of the things that I have done over the years is to say that when I compare an internal candidate with an external candidate, and out of the process, if the difference between the internal and the external is not more than 5 notches, I'll give the internal candidate a chance. But if that gap is quite wide and the external candidate can show that, yeah, what I bring to the table is far, should we just say because the guy is an internal candidate and give them the role? No. Think about the people that you know who have gotten jobs during the pandemic. Were there no internal candidates? There were. There are always internal candidates. Again, that's part of the defeatist approach with which some people are take this job search. In their mind, they have an internal candidate. In their mind, I don't know the chairman. I don't know the MD. Why are they putting out an advert? I'll tell you, one of the things we did before I left FBN Quest, we were looking for management graduate trainees. And we put out the adverts. We didn't have anybody in mind. We put out the adverts. 14,000 plus people applied. We shortlisted down to 1,000 to write the computer-based test. We interviewed eventually from the 1,000 after the test, we interviewed about 75. Guess how many people we're looking for? About 25.
Wow, from
14,000 plus applications, 14,000 plus successful applications, because it meant that some people might not have successfully applied.
Yeah, that's true.
So the numbers are telling. What we need to be doing is to look inwards and introspect rather than looking at all the reasons out there why it might not work. Why don't we look inwards and constantly develop ourselves to the point where you will stand out of the 14,000 crowd, or 3,000, or 1,000, as the case may be. The reality is that jobs out there don't match the supply. We have more supply. But I would not worry about that. I worry about what about me will make me stand out from the crowd, so that when I eventually get an opportunity to sit in front of a panel, I must be the standard by which other candidates are being measured. That should be the focus.
Thank you, thank you. I must be the standard by which other candidates are being measured. So, we are actually running out of time, and this will actually be our last question. This is from Oko Joseph from Facebook. How do we de-emphasize certificates, age, connections in recruitment, as against emphasis what an individual can do?
Okay, so I can give a political answer to that by saying that age, certifications or qualifications, they are within the space of circle of concern. What you need to concentrate on should be your circle of influence. You do not have control over what organizations, or some organizations will have as their qualifying criteria. You don't. Don't worry about that. The numbers need to be pruned down in a certain way. And that's why we use either qualification or age, or we are looking for individuals who are not yet set in their ways, right? According to psychologists, rather than look for the 30-year-olds to come and do entry-level jobs, let's look for the 24 to 27 to come and do entry-level jobs. But for me, again, that is sitting, like I said, in the space of concern. What about you do you need to do to be ready for the market? I mean, how many organizations are in Nigeria? How many of them are asking for 2-1 or age limits? Not all organizations. So why are you concerned about the few that will be asking you about 2-1 or first class, or will be asking you about age consideration? Concentrate on the ones where you can be accepted. Those ones will not accept you. And guess what? No matter whatever I say here today, it won't change a PwC or KPMG saying they want a 2-1. It won't change it right now. But this is what I say about certifications, and I've said it before. For me, it's competence over certifications. If you come to an interview, I see your CV, I'm not going to go through all your whatever you have in terms of professional qualifications. You need to demonstrate that they make meaning to what you are going to come do in the organization. So it is competence for me over certifications. However, if certifications will lead you to gaining more competence, and you can show or demonstrate that you will add that value to the organization, by all means, you are at an advantage. So people should just concentrate on what about me. And if the environment, if you say to me the environment is asking for certifications, what's stopping you from getting yours? Just do it as well. If the environment is asking for, when we were growing up, right after school, MBA was huge.
Yes.
MBA was huge. And that propelled me to go do an MBA immediately after youth service. So what is your area of specialization asking for? If you need to get it by all means, but don't stop at just getting that paper qualification. Make sure that you find opportunities when you eventually do get a job to add value to your ecosystem based on the knowledge, the skills, and the qualifications that you have acquired.
Fantastic. So don't focus on what you can't control. Focus on what you can actually control. Thank you so much. We had a lot of questions, and I think I'm being given grace to ask another one. This is Nike from YouTube, Nike Fagbemi, and I think you've answered this question. She said, for a transition into HR, she has 15 years work experience. What are the certifications you should get and the visibility path to follow? That's our question.
Certifications and the visibility
Path.
and the visible path. I'm trying to read as well to follow. 15 years. Looks like this is a conversation to have with Nike maybe after this session. I'm happy to let Nike talk to me on any of the social media handles.
Wow.
By all means.
Thank you. Thank you.
Because
Thank you so much,
I'll need
sir.
to know more about the 15 years so that I don't answer that question, by just trying to flounder around it. So Nike could speak with me on LinkedIn or maybe on Instagram. Yemi Faseun on all my social media handles except Twitter, which is at Faseun Yemi. So we can have a conversation on that, Nike.
Yeah, Nike, you've been given an open check to reach out to him. Thank you so much, Yemi. Thank you for that. So, Nike, reach out to him about your question. He promised to answer off the camera.
I promise.
So, the next one by Taiwo Abiodun from YouTube. What is your advice for organization who treats their B-class personnel badly over the A and C class personnel?
Okay, so again, the quickest way to answer that question is to say be an A employee as well. What is stopping you from being an A employee? Right? The guys who are in the top 20%, why are you not there as well? But there was something that I said on Twitter in response to a guy's tweet this morning, and I said that such organizations will be losing talent. They will keep workers and employees, but they will be losing talent. Right? You've got to treat all classes of employees fairly. Now, yesterday at the CIPM conference, I asked a guy in Tanzania if HR is for nice people. There are some things that we still have to do. If I run a race now with the fastest guy, I've forgotten his name now, the guy, Usain Bolt. If I run a race with him right now, and I'm extremely fast, and you are extremely fast, at the end of the day, we will still have a first, second, third. Even if the difference will be in milliseconds. At the end of the day, we'll have 7, 8, 9, 10. If there are 10 of us, even if the difference is in milliseconds. So there will always be ways of differentiating classes of employees because we can't all run at the same pace.
True.
Our output and productivity will not always be the same. So human resources working with leadership will always find ways of saying who are the top performers, who are in the average class, and who are the guys who are not putting their weight. And from a talent management perspective, we will deal with those 3 different categories in different ways. But it doesn't mean that they should be treated badly. At times, for people to move to the next bucket, it just means they need help. They need somebody to hold their hands. Yeah. We need to ask them the question around what is keeping you to be at your optimum, rather than treating them badly. So, culture of the organization is what I consider as iceberg issues, right? If you look at the Titanic, this was a kind of moment, aha moment for me yesterday at the CIPM conference as well. The Titanic was great on the surface, very lovely. The guy who built it said, even God
cannot sing.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was good. But beneath the surface, what was waiting for it? The iceberg. That's culture. That is how we treat people. That is the smell of an organization. So the earlier organizations realized that people need to be treated fairly rather than badly, irrespective of what class they belong to, the better for such organizations, especially in the post-pandemic world, especially now that technology is allowing people to do so many things, right? So many employees are walking away from toxic work cultures because they are thinking, I can do photography. They are thinking, I can do face beating. Until I get another job, I will do Uber. And the younger ones are actually doing all of that to get by. So what organizations need to do is to find great culture to support how they treat people, irrespective of the performance classes that they may belong to.
Wow. Thank you so much. Fantastic ideas. You can see the reason why I said E added human to the human resources. Thank you so much. And for everybody joining us online, we appreciate your time. And this is the first in this series, and we'll be holding subsequent one. Like Hayo said in the beginning, this is Inspire. We are raising transformational leaders based on biblical principle. This is Titi from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you for your time today. We appreciate spending time with you. We hope to see you again. Kindly follow us on all our social media platforms. It will be our pleasure to continue this conversation even offset. Drop your question. Definitely we're going to give an answer or get across to you. We've learned so much today from you, sir. We hope you're coming again. When we invite you, you've talked about networking. If there's anything we need to improve on, our communication, our networking skills, and being able to invent, spend time with yourself and learn more about what your ability are. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. We are closing from here. Hope to see you next time. Thank you so much.